2 weeks after the start of the World Joy Movement, I was in a mastermind coaching conversation with the group of individuals that helped spark the the determination to bring a movement to life. And for that week, I was in the hot seat. What that meant then is that I got the focus of the other members of the mastermind to really help me move forward in life and in business. And I'll be honest, on that day, I was actually feeling honestly pretty tired. It was 11 o'clock at night for me, and I just wasn't necessarily sure I could really muster anything that would be really insightful or profound. And to be also really true, I felt that I was moving at a good place. We the World Joy Movement had been in existence for about 2 weeks at that point. There were some different adjustments and changes that I knew were coming up. But to be honest, this idea, I realized I really want to be honest, this video, this conversation. But it was a massive accomplishment to even just bring the movement out into the world. And I was already getting feedback and having conversations with people that were helping me see where we needed to take this going forward. And as I was sharing with the mastermind members, some of just the contentment that I was in, like the fact I'm like, I know this is moving forward. And that's all that I really need right now. Someone in the group really spent some time listening and discerning out a theme that she was hearing. And the theme was, Niyama, it seems that at this point, you feel like you need to go out and spend your time figuring things out, and then eventually come out and bring that over to the World Joy Movement. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I'm leading this thing here. There's a lot of desires that people want, and I do believe that we can house many of them inside of this movement. And she asked me the question that changed it all. And she said, well, where's the joy? Where's the joy in this here? Why don't I feel joy coming through you when you say it? It feels like work that needs to get done. Where's the element of play? And my response to her was like almost a bit matter of fact. It's like, well, there's just work that needs to get done. I need to set up the structure first. And once the structure is in place, then we can go play. And when I have the structure in place, then I'll be able to play the entire time. But until that's done, we just got to make sure we get through this part. She entertained me for a bit. There's like a slight smile in her face, which to be honest, I'm like, annoyed me quite a bit. I can pick up on like micro changes in people as a result of me being a recovering people pleaser. So it was clear that I had that something I had said had tickled her. As she continued with her line of questioning, she then repeated and asked, like where is the joy in that? And as I had paused to try and think of it, and she continued on. She's like, I would love to see you come into this space and bring joy and play into everything you do without having to figure it all out first. And I remember just hearing that and thinking to myself, the thing is, what would be really fun for me is to be in this space and actually just be creating it with other people. That would be where like the game is for me, like to be in a space where we're all making this come to life. And I'm supporting that. I don't mind taking on a lot to make that come to life, but man, it'd be really great to not have to do it alone, to do it with others. And I'm smiling right now, even as I say that. It led to a really fruitful conversation, really around my own tendency to want to show up almost like perfect in this space, and almost with everything kind of tied up and looking good, and making sure that each and every one of you who have really chosen to be a part of this movement together really feels well taken care of. And honestly, it looks like I know what I'm doing. And I said to them here something really just that was just true. It was like, I've never led a movement before. Even just saying it right now feels like difficult to say. I've never led a movement before. I'm like, I don't necessarily know what needs to get done. And she's like, aha. And now you're off in the corner, isolating yourself, trying to figure it out, and then coming back out. What if you didn't need to isolate yourself? And when she said that, my body just relaxed. It was like this feeling of warmth came out. And I remember looking at her, wanting to say something, but then I had to get pulled out because my young one woke up. It was late at night and we had to go take care of it. So I ended up leaving that conversation a bit open-ended. Just abruptly, the conversation ended. And I'm grateful for that, because after we were able to settle my young one, I went to sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I remembered a dream that I had. And right now, I can't remember the specifics of the dream, but I do remember the outcome that came from it. And the outcome was, rather than trying to figure out how to bring joy into everything in the World Joy Movement, what if each day I allowed myself to get 1% more joyful, which I chose to do something that brought us 1% closer. And that idea, it just felt light. It felt easy. It felt breezy. And so as I have the practice with this mastermind, I went and I sent them an update. And I continue to let the abrupt open-endedness of the question of how can I bring more joy into the World Joy Movement continue to evolve in me. And as the day was going out, honestly, not even later on that day, this is what happened. Later on that day, I had a conversation with 2 or 3 people from the World Joy Movement. And I was actually able to ask questions, see what was missing, see what they were looking for, and to build from there. And at some point, these words came out of my mouth. I'm just like, for me, what would be really great joy is for us to let's just figure it all out together. That's what it really means to me. It'd be really awesome for us to just figure it out. And what if we figure it out? I'm like, at the end of figuring out, how do we create a world of joy? And in that moment, that's when it all became clear that the World Joy Movement is not an answer, but it's actually a question. It's a movement that is formed to answer the question of how do we create a world of joy? And each of us come together in order to contribute to that answer and to that question. And my invitation here for all of us is to come together and let's figure this thing out together. We'll do it by sharing our experiences. We'll do it by coming together in conversations. We'll do it by changing up the way that we have approached things in the past. And generally speaking, as long as we're doing things that help us figure out how we create a world of joy, and we're sharing that and adding it to a pool of knowledge and a pool of other movement makers and other movement members, so that we can basically team our efforts together to take on some of the world's greatest challenges, I think we're in a great shape. So let's just leave this here. The World Joy question of how do we create a world of joy together? And we'll go ahead and we'll figure it out together. Let me know what you need to be able to figure out even more, what tools, what resources, what conversations, what connections, whatever is necessary for us to find out more about creating a world of joy. I'm down. Let us know, bring it into this space, and let's make this thing happen. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, be heard, be seen, be World Joy. Take care. It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level, because you're there now. All right, let's play.